Thank you all for being here. Today's a very special day. This is a project that's been over 15 years in the making, and this marks the end of the planning stage and the start of the construction stage. Over 15 years ago, several people, Mary Lynn Bryan, Charles Broadwell, Tad Pruitt, Margaret Dixon, and other members of the Museum of the Cape Fear staff got together and came up with an idea. And for the last 15 years, as a lot of planning, a lot of time, a lot of lobbying, a lot of money has gone into this project, we remained committed to the one principle that they had, and that was their goal was to tell the truth, tell a truthful story about this tragic time in our nation and state. We've stuck true to that, and we continue to do that. I'm going to introduce some people later, but this is a true partnership. I can't tell you the number of people that have worked on this process, from city, county, to state, to just plain volunteers, and it's been an absolute joy that everybody's come together, and we're here today. One of the things I talk about partnership, from the very beginning, we were all clear that this was a partnership, a public-private partnership between the citizens of Cumberland County, the city, the county, the state of North Carolina. And I'm honored today to have the Secretary of the North Carolina Department of Natural and Cultural Resources. Your name's almost as long as ours. Pamela Brewington Cashwell. I'd like to say welcome home to Pamela. She went to high school here in Fayetteville and knows this part of the state very well. So she's going to say a few words, please.
Thank you, Mac. First of all, I bring you greetings from Governor Josh Stein. And it is true, I am home. This is home for me. I've grown up here. I went to Pine Forest with Kathy Jensen. I still have my mother's home here, which is where I made a quick stop before I came downtown to do this. So yeah, Fayetteville is important to me. And this is exciting. This is a really exciting project. Before I say some thanks, I want to say, just for those of you who don't know, like why the Department of Natural and Cultural Resources, like what is it that we do? Why would we be involved? We have the pleasure of managing all the things that people really love about North Carolina. Our very rich culture, our diverse history, our beautiful, really spectacular natural areas. So that gets into state parks, our 28 historic sites, our 8 history museums, our science museums, the aquariums, our state library, archives. So we have over 100 sites across the state where we get to, in various ways, tell the story of North Carolina. We also are an incredible economic driver for the state because of those sites. Like, often our sites are the thing that bring people to an area. This morning I was in Asheboro at the North Carolina Zoo. And as you can imagine, that is a really important economic driver for that part of the state. So we get to tell the story of North Carolina. And that's one of our top priorities, and our priority is to do that well, to do that fully. The North Carolina History Center on Civil War, Emancipation, and Reconstruction is going to present for us a unique opportunity to tell multiple stories. As you all know, this will be the first and only museum in North Carolina focusing on an important part of our history. Important, but frankly overlooked at this point in time, and that's Reconstruction. It's the story of our state putting itself back together after the Civil War. So I want to thank everyone who has worked on this project. As Max said, I've heard what a long history this project has, and it just points to the resilience of folks in North Carolina, particularly people in this area. Thank you so much to the General Assembly. I know you guys worked particularly hard to ensure that there was funding for this project, and so thank you for that. We don't do these projects without the General Assembly becoming involved and giving funding to it, because our department certainly doesn't have the funding. Want to thank the foundation. Thank you, Mac. And just to all of the supporters who have had a role in supporting this. I know we have a number of city council members here, county commissioners, and so the only way these sorts of projects work is for everybody to pull in the same direction and be partners. And so we look forward to being a partner with you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you very much. It is a partnership, and in a moment I'm going to call the lead person from Vines in to discuss exactly what the project's about. But I need to go back in time and thank a few people, because without their help, we would not be here today. Number of years ago, I'm not really sure how long ago it was, 3 legislators from our region, John Soka, Kirk Deviere, and Billy Richardson, got together, and they did something that's kind of rare these days. That's 2 Democrats and a Republican, and they put all their egos and they put all their different stuff aside, and they worked to bring the largest amount back to Cumberland County in its history, over $400 million. We were a large part of that, and we could not be here today, so I just want to publicly thank you all for that. John led that team, and there's just not enough ways to thank him for all his hard work. Nowadays, 2 of our legislators, one of them called me this morning, he's got a doc's appointment, he can't be here, Tom McGinnis, but Diane Wheatley is here with us, and they continue to lobby for the state and make sure that the city and the county are well represented. So I want to thank you, Diane. Folks, and then at the same time, our city and our county government got together, and they too put all feelings aside, listen to what we have to say. I can't tell you, this has been a 15-year project, and if you think about 15 years ago and all that's happened in this country since that point, when you walk up to somebody and say, I want to build a Civil War museum, it's not really well received initially, and I think a lot of people in this, under that tent felt the same way. But the city and the county put everything aside and funded us, both the city and the county, both for $7.5 million. We had to prove to the state of North Carolina before we could get their support that this town and this county were in favor of it. So we'll never be able to thank you all enough. Because it is 108 or whatever it is right now, I'm intentionally not asking everybody to come up and give speeches. So I want to apologize to whoever I might forget during this process. Anybody that knows me knows it's bound to happen, so don't read anything into it. But you've all been valuable, and I don't mean to leave anybody out. I do want to talk about a few other people. Our board, there's a number of our board members here, if they would raise their hand. Again, for 15 years, they've been taking the arrows and building a coalition in this community. Our staff, Cece Winslow, Sherry, Dorian, and Colby. It's a very small staff, folks, and they've kept the fires burning, and we'll never be able to repay them. Somebody had to schedule the portalettes, and somebody had to schedule everything else. So they did all this, and so as the next few years go by, their role shifts. We're no longer in the planning stages, we're in the construction stages, and I'll talk about those partners in a minute. Historians, Harry Watson's here, Demetrius, Jeff Crow. During this process, we have put together over 30 historians to be part of this process. And I don't know whether some of you all obviously have been a part of this, but you can well imagine that 30 historians on a tragic time like a Civil War might have different opinions. They've worked together, or apart at times, for the last 10 years building the story. And that's all part of the process that we've been through. The script is written, it is off being finalized. But again, all the planning is done, now comes the construction part. And I also I have to thank a few. Cumberland Community Foundation was the lead foundation that stepped up and really gave us a spark at the very beginning, back when people, again, didn't know what we were all about. So I have to thank them for stepping up. Next, I'm going to call up Adam from Vines & Associates. Vines is our lead architect, and you've been with us since the very beginning, I believe, right? He's going to talk a little bit about what you're going to see right here, and then I'm going to step up and talk about the rest of the team in a minute.
Thanks, Mac. I promise I will be brief today. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Adam Brakenbury, Managing Principal with Vines Architecture. I want to first thank the foundation for providing Vines Architecture with the opportunity to be a partner in creating this important history center, park, and campus. I'd also like to thank our other collaborators, including Balfour Beatty and Vernadoe Construction, and our own team, including Jennifer Carter, Phil Chang, and Victor Vines. Victor unfortunately could not be here today, but he did ask that I express his excitement to see this project continuing forward at this momentous occasion. The NC History Center on the Civil War, Emancipation, and Reconstruction is envisioned not only as a destination for visitors to the area, but also as a community center for the local Fayetteville residents. In addition to 16,000 square feet of exhibition space, the facility contains classrooms, a library, a 2,000 square foot community meeting room that can host lectures, a lobby with space to host banquets and other events, as well as a cafe, gift shop, and rotating exhibit gallery. The History Center will be a place where people come not to learn about the great battles of the Civil War, but about the stories of the very diverse people living in North Carolina during this tumultuous time and what they experienced. It will also be a place where friends can meet for a cup of coffee, or perhaps an iced tea on a day like today, or bring their kids to play in the park. The design of the building provides transparency, natural light, warm materials, and a large front porch to create a friendly and inclusive environment, welcoming all who come to visit. The building is located here on the north end of the site, preserving the existing Arsenal Park and the natural tree canopy that you see behind me, which are currently enjoyed by residents of the surrounding neighborhood. We are excited to be here for the start of construction. You'll see groundwork beginning almost immediately, and we expect by early spring of next year to see the building begin to take shape as the steel frame goes up. We are currently targeting a grand opening in the spring of 2028. Now that may seem like a long time away, but for all of those here who have been working on this project, we know that this is really a time when we begin to see the hard work come to fruition. It'll be here before you know it. Thank you again, everyone, for being here for this momentous occasion, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Adam. Adam mentioned part of our construction team. I want to mention the rest of them. There's Vines and Associates. There's Balfour Beatty Construction. Some of those people are here. They can raise their hands. Varnado Construction. Ben's a local gentleman who's been part of this process from the very beginning. Eisterholt and Associates is our design team. They've been with us since the start. They're not here today. They helped with the historians coming together with a script and the whole design of what it was going to be. A new addition to our team, Cubic Maltby, are our fabricators. We just recently hired them, and while they're not here locally, they are hard at work up outside Philadelphia, beginning to build the sets and all the exhibits. Becker Forndorf is our owner's rep. We've hired an owner's rep to help when all these construction guys start talking about things that don't mean anything to me at all. I'll turn to them and say, what do they say? Also want to thank Mark Barnes, who's been our public relations person from the very beginning. And then we are also using as many possible local companies. Mormon Kaiser has been involved from the very beginning, and so it's a great honor. And I will tell you that when Cubic Maltby put their bid in, one of the things they said was our goal is to use as many local people in this process as possible. So we're excited about that as we go down the way a little bit. Again, this is a turning point. We're done planning. It's ready to roll. Now comes the fun part. You can drive by here, and instead of seeing an empty lot, I didn't do that. Instead of coming by here and seeing an empty lot, you can see construction. You'll begin to see it go up. We also, some of you have already talked about it, but when you get up, if you'll take a look, you'll see these orange stakes. That is the outline of the building. It runs across the road, not that orange stake, but a little bit farther, and you see these white flags. This is a 60,000 square foot building. If you see the green stake hidden by those cars right there, that will be the entrance. So when you come up here to the model and you look, that's the entrance right there. We're somewhere right along here, all right? But the building is a large building. It will encompass 60,000 square foot right here. So look for a lot of work, a lot of steel, and a lot of everything else going on. But I can't thank you all enough. What are we doing here? What is the foundation doing from now on? Obviously, we'll continue with oversight of the project. We're thrilled to be involved in that. We continue to hold seminars for social studies teachers across the state of North Carolina. One of the things that we do, and we've talked about it a lot, but it doesn't get the publicity it should, is that we are still collecting. Our goal is to collect 100 stories from all 100 counties of this period. Relatives tell stories. Sherry, raise your hand, Sherry. Sherry is our expert who comes in when I say, hey, my family was involved here, which is a lie because I was from Michigan. She's going to look back through the records and say, no, we can't put that one in our exhibit. But we are still building. Our goal is to get 10,000 stories, 100 stories from 100 counties. So we will continue along that process. And that's also critical in what we're doing with the schools. We also will continue to host events. You all know that we've had a lecture series, a Harry Jones lecture series every single year. And part of the key part about this center, as you look at these pictures, is going to be that there's event halls where people will come in and lecture about the different aspects. And we're excited about the opportunity to continually bring new, fresh things down here. And then last but not least, you all know I'm a salesman. Last but not least, we're at 96% of our goals. So if anybody either knows the Gates Foundation or has money in your pocket, please see me. Press and anyone else, the people that I've talked about will be here afterwards to answer any questions. I didn't want to have them all come up and talk because it's not fair to everybody in this heat. But I can't thank you all enough. I can't tell you how excited we are. We're not going anywhere. But now the construction phase takes on. We've got a number of people who have helped us. Everything from Carl Legatsky mentioned we've got a vine that we got to have taken down. I mean, everybody's excited about this project and helping us out. So thank you all for your time.